What do you say to that?
I say that she believes that we are stalkers because we are watching to see what's happening at the home. We have multiple reports saying that there's drug activity, that there's people coming and going in and out of the house. If that's stalking, then I don't know what to tell her.
How do you feel about the fact that your daughter takes your ex's side over you?
I don't believe in how my ex-wife parents. I still would never allow my daughter to talk to my ex-wife the way she talks to me.
Jason thinks that it's your fault your daughter's the way she is.
That's the most ignorant statement anybody can make, because it's never just one person. Ever since she was a little girl, he did nothing but browbeat her, made her feel very self-conscious about who she was as a human. As far as letting her get away with stuff, I wish I had as much control as he claims I have. If I could manipulate, then I'd be able to control. So obviously, that's not what's happening here.
What do you think when your dad says things like he blames your mom for all the stuff that you were going through?
He blames my mom because he doesn't want to accept responsibility for what he does. My opinion on him is based off of how he treats me, not anything my mom says. He's abusive, physically, mentally, my whole life. My mom knows what works and what doesn't work. She knows how to be a parent, and she's been both parents, a mom and a dad, my whole life. My dad hasn't been anything. He hasn't been a dad.
What do you want Dr. Phil to know?
I want to know that we need help.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she claims her ex spies on their daughter.
You've installed 7 security cameras.
Because he thinks she's a bad mom.
You say she has allowed your daughter to date felons.
They weren't felons at the time.
But what about Dad?
You've slapped your daughter. You argue in front of her.
You can't own the hurt you've given her.
This is abusive. You are an abuser. You are an abuser. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Tina says her ex-husband Jason has put 7 cameras on the exterior of the home that she lives in to spy on their 16-year-old daughter. 7 cameras around the perimeter. She says that Jason follows their daughter around town, starts fights with her friends, and even takes photos of their license plates just to prove that she is a bad mother and that he is the better parent. Now, Jason says that he has to closely monitor their daughter's whereabouts because Tina is a what? Bad mother. Surprise, surprise. Take a look.
My ex-husband Jason is harassing me and our 16-year-old daughter big time.
You follow, you stalk, and people are done with your and so am I.
This is sad, Tina.
She has her own feelings and opinions.
But you're the parent.
Hold on a second.
But you're the parent too, but you don't act like one.
My ex-wife, Tina, is an enabler of our daughter's behavior, and she will not allow me to properly discipline her. Your passive-aggressive manipulation on this child is the reason why she's the way she is today.
I'm traumatized.
You don't control what she does today, but you have controlled her mind.
Because I live in his mom's house, Jason actually installed surveillance cameras. He's claiming that they're up because he needs to keep an eye on what our daughter's doing. It's insane.
They all have video. I didn't really want them to know that it has audio. I don't feel that having the cameras up is intrusive at all.
When our daughter was younger, Jason would not allow her to have her own emotion. He pulled her out of the closet one time. She didn't want to go with him, but he dragged her down the hallway. There were times where he's even had his arm around her neck, choking her.
I don't care if you cry because I have no more remorse for you. I have no more sympathy for you. You need to stop lying.
I don't think I've been abusive or a monster. I'm just trying to parent.
As our daughter got older, she started seeking a lot of male attention. She also started smoking marijuana. My ex-husband blames me for everything that our daughter is doing.
I found out Tina was allowing an 18-year-old boy to sleep in my daughter's room unsupervised. I have pictures of these people in her room.
So you're taking pictures of me in my room?
No, you took the pictures.
How would you find these pictures? Please.
Social media.
I blocked you on all social media. How did you find that?
I have people that give them to me.
She's surrounding herself with not so great people. In her mind, these boys can protect her from her father. Honestly, our daughter needs Jason to own up to what he's done to her.
Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? She gets her temperament, her aggression from me. That is all that you've owned.
I've owned other things.
You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been?
Okay. Is there agreement here that your daughter is in a bad spot?
Yes.
So you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
And you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So she's not hanging with the people that you wish she was hanging with. She's not making the choices you wish she was making.
Correct.
So what do you think's going on? How did this happen?
It started at a very young age, when Angela was younger. Her dad was around, you know, and he'd bring her places, treat her, you know, relatively decent. But he wasn't around for the important things like her competitions. It was always, he'd either show up late or not show up because he had work.
That's not true.
Angela had asked him one point, you know, when am I going to be more important to you than work? And his initial response was, somebody's got to pay the bills. And in my mind, it should have been something more like, sweetheart, you're always more important, but I had to do X, Y, Z. There's been name calling indicating that he doesn't want to get her to get fat. He doesn't want her to be the type of kid that can't see her feet.
That's not true.
He's called her a slut.
That's not
A
true.
bully.
A bully, yes.
There's a lot of things that he has called her throughout her years of growing up, and it got worse as she got older.
So this is the problem.
In all fairness, 80-20.
But you say you're having to plug in because she's not doing her job as a mother.
Correct.
You say that she has allowed your daughter to date two felons when she was 14 and 15 years old.
That's absolutely correct.
They weren't felons at the time.
Oh, at the time, they weren't felons. They're felons now.
Kids.
They're locked
They
up.
wound up, and I had no idea. When they would come
poor
into the
judgment.
house, very respectful to me. There was no indication at that point and in time that there was anything.
Well, Mr. 80 over here says that you are allowing your daughter to do things that worry him about her safety and well-being, such as vaping every day, smoking marijuana on a daily basis, selling drugs, buying drugs near the home, that the neighbors are complaining about strange men coming and going, and that's why he's got the cameras around.
The only ones that complained about the strange men's coming and going are the people downstairs. They had indicated that there were 4 people in the backyard that we were not aware of. As far as her selling drugs, that is not accurate. As far as me allowing her to smoke marijuana every day, that is not accurate. Do I know she smokes? Yes. Do I agree with it? Absolutely, 100% not.
Is she vaping?
On occasion, yes, she's been doing the vaping too. And it's not with.
Do y'all own a television?
It's not with
me. Do you have a
me.
computer?
I've posted numerous times
I've
about
tried
You
to
understand
do.
this is life-threatening, right?
I know that.
and the vaping and the issues with vaping.
And when
I send them to her. I'm the stalker.
And when she sees them, she's like, yeah, no, I've heard about this too. I said, do you not realize that this is a real problem? This is a real issue. No, I know. But when she goes out with her friends, I just think, I can't stop her. I can't be on top of her 24/7 when she leaves the house to go hang out with her peers from school. It's a tough situation. She knows where I stand with all of that stuff, and I don't condone it.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing about discipline is that discipline is supposed to be instructive. When you discipline a child, whether they're 1, 2, 5, 15, or whatever, is that they will internalize that discipline, so it becomes self-discipline. And you teach them to value themselves enough so when they're out in the world, they'll make decisions so they don't allow people to take advantage of them. They don't do high-risk behaviors because you've taught them to feel valued. You've had them internalize discipline so they put those things in place so they pump the brakes when you're not around. So do I understand you can't be there 24 hours a day? Yes, I do. My question is, what are you doing when you are around?
When I'm with her and I explain to her what could happen and how this can affect your future, because she wants to be an attorney, I said, all these things, you need to understand the repercussions of what can happen when this happens to you. And I plant all those seeds with her.
Okay, so you defend your parenting. You're okay with your parenting?
For the most part.
Okay,
I mean, I know I
got it.
have errors.
Okay, got it.
He had his arm by her neck and said, give me the phone or you're gonna get hurt.
That's not true. I'm taking the phone and I'm pulling it away from her.
That's physical.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Turn it off! And later, one of you's not telling the truth here. If you're just gonna come in here and lie, you're wasting my time.
You know what, honestly?
Are you a slow learner?
No.
You know what? Now, you've slapped your daughter,
I have.
according to her.
Yes.
Why would you slap your daughter?
There was a struggle to get the phone.
Why was there a struggle to get the phone?
Mom couldn't get the phone. She invited me in to take the phone from her.
Okay, and I'm curious about this because what he says is you push as much as you can to try to get compliance, and when you can't, then you call in the enforcer, and then you complain when he enforces.
Because of the way he does it.
Why do you call him then?
Because you know what, honestly?
Are you a slow learner?
No.
I mean, you know what he does.
I know. Slow learner as far as thinking it might have a different impact when he comes in. But I've learned, obviously, it isn't. I have hope that it'll be different. But what happens is he comes in, he pushes the door open. She's cornered in between the corner of the room.
She was pushing against the door and wouldn't let you in.
The wall and the corner of the door. He had his arm by her neck and said, you have 30 seconds to give me the phone or you're gonna get hurt. He took the phone, he gave it to me, he shut the door with his foot, and the next thing I know...
That's not true.
The next thing that I know...
You're standing in the hallway.
I was in the hallway, so I could see you shutting the door.
She slid down the door and pushed the door herself. I wasn't even on the door.
I saw you.
She shut the door, and then when she got to the bottom, she kicked me.
She did
She
not
went to
shut
kick
the
me in the
door.
groin, but she kicked me in the leg.
She did.
And that's when I stopped.
So you're okay with your parenting, but then when you can't get done what you need to get done, then you call in the enforcer.
And it becomes...
And then when he comes in to enforce, you don't like the way he does it.
It's
and then
very
calls the police on me.
It's very physical. I mean, my daughter's
and
crying,
you know that
Mom.
before you call him.
Yeah,
that's why I said, are you a slow learner? Because you said this is a pattern.
I shouldn't be doing that. I know. And you know what? And that's why I stopped.
Okay. And so you...
That was recent.
There was one
and so you're the adult in the situation. So you get in a situation with your daughter that melts down into a physical confrontation over a phone.
When you say...
What, are you raised by wolves? What are you doing here that you're doing this interaction with your daughter?
No, it's not a matter of physical. It starts out where I'm taking the phone and I'm pulling it away from her.
That's physical.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Turn it off!
She has the power to turn it off. I don't have the account.
Well, God forbid you would communicate with each other.
I have. She refuses to turn it off. She refuses to stop the Snapchats and the
So
Facebook
you've installed
and the
7
Instagrams.
security cameras so you can watch.
It's not so I can watch them.
And listen.
No, I installed the cameras.
And listen.
Because we got information that there was drug activity going on in the house. The house is owned by my mother.
You watch and listen.
Recently, yeah, the cameras are up with
you know he's got sound, right?
Yes, on the front door. Yes.
It's not a secret. It's an outside. They're all outside cameras. They're not facing inside the house at all. I get the mailman. I get UPS. I get everybody. They're all on the sidewalks.
Okay, so you don't communicate verbally very well, so let's look at some of the written communications. So this is Jason's email to Tina concerning the daughter being out late. So this is you sending her an email just recently, 1:47 a.m. Tina, it's almost 2 a.m. on Saturday, November 30th, 2019. Our daughter left your home at 7:30 a.m. Friday and has not come home yet. I also noticed when she went in separate directions from the boy that was in your home. Where is our daughter and why is she still out at almost 2 a.m.? I also noticed that last night she came home at 12:45 this morning. Tell me why you're allowing a 16-year-old girl to stay out until this late hour on a regular basis. Jason. Okay, so you're tracking when she comes and goes.
Well, the cameras are up so I can see them. I have a notification when the camera's tripped. So
They're motion activated?
They're motion activated, correct.
Okay. So when she comes and goes, you get
I get a notification.
A signal.
Yeah. Anybody that comes and goes, the mailman, anybody.
Right.
The people downstairs.
Okay. So she's coming and going at 2 o'clock and 12:45?
That happened once. That was a one time.
Once? No, that's not true. That's not true. I have the documentation.
Well, he does because he used a GPS tracker to find his daughter when
she used the
she
GPS
went
tracker.
missing.
That's
and
incorrect.
it led him to an abandoned lot. We're going to find out what happened next. We'll be right back. Tina says that you videotaped your daughter and posted it on YouTube with the title, An Entitled Child.
And then once my family viewed it, I removed it.
What are you sarcastically laughing about? And later,
I should take the cameras down, leave my daughter alone and not parent at all. And
well, let's set up a paper tiger and then tear it down. You think I'm an idiot?
I'm expecting an answer.
Just shout him out to me then. All right, we got that one.
Okay.
Jason would always threaten to go to court to get full custody of our daughter.
Tina violated 27 visitations with my daughter. I got a lawyer and he told me, I could take your money, but there are no grounds for a change of custody.
Even if he got custody of our daughter, it wouldn't last. I really don't think he understands the capacity of raising a teenage daughter.
I still wanted to push change of custody because I wanted to light a fire under Tina's ass.
Okay, Tina says that her ex-husband, Jason, has been stalking their daughter by putting cameras around the house and following her every move. Jason says he is forced to keep tabs on their daughter because Tina refuses to parent and lets their daughter rule the roost. Now, this has been going on for a while, and I'm curious about this because Tina says that you videotaped your daughter for 45 minutes and posted it on YouTube with the title, An Entitled Child. And you did that to punish her for getting your daughter a new phone.
No, that's incorrect. The reason...
I'm sure it is. I have no doubt.
The first part is I punished her. And when she kept on with the smart answers, I was trying to show my side of the family how she behaves when she's with me alone in my home. Because there are people in my side of the family that listen to Tina and actually believe her sob stories of me being abusive. So I videotaped the conversation, and then I ripped it through YouTube because that was the only way I knew how to rip it down to that kind of a video, and then I pushed it out so my family could see it. Once I realized that the YouTube video was private, let's put it that way. I made sure there was a privacy on it. And then once my family viewed it, I removed it from YouTube. So there's, you know, the side of the story that she gives is slanted.
What are you sarcastically laughing about?
He's saying he removed it once his family saw it.
Absolutely.
There was a publication, a marketing tool, if you want to say, on Facebook. Please check out my video, The Entitled Child.
That's not true.
Okay, now wait a minute. Okay, all right, Cookie, stop. Stop talking. Look, guys, I've been doing this for too long. I'm too old. There are not versions of the truth. It can't be both. Now, one of you's not telling the truth here. And everything I've said, you've said A, you've said B. You've said A, you've said B. Now, if you're just going to come in here and lie, you're wasting my time. You're not going to get any help from me.
She's wasting your time.
So if that's what you're going to do, then, you know, we might as well shut this down and we go do something else. I mean, if you're going to lie, I can't help you. If you're really here for help, then you're not going to be in a CYA mode. You're going to actually tell the truth.
Well, that's what I have been doing, because the realistic purpose for this is for our daughter. And
Okay, was there not something on Facebook that says, see my video
Yes.
entitled Child?
I've had people tell me.
Do you have a picture of that?
I have people.
Did you take a picture of it?
It doesn't matter if she has a picture of it or not. Did you put it on Facebook or not?
Absolutely. I put it on my Facebook, which is private.
So it was on Facebook.
It was on Facebook. I'm not denying that it was on Facebook.
Yes, you are. You did. You spent time denying it. You've wasted 5 minutes of time denying that it was there when, in fact, it was there, just in context.
Yes, it was on my Facebook, which is private.
Then why did you say it wasn't?
Well, because she said that there was a publication as if it went out as a publication.
No, I said you put it on.
It was private.
You put it on Facebook to market it.
Why would I market? It's not marketing. See, this is the reason that I said no, because she's saying marketing. I'm not marketing anything.
You're putting it on your page to say, take a look. That's the marketing.
It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of my family seeing the enablers in my family that believe you in the things that you do.
Okay.
You know, I'm just really curious how much you're willing to pay to be right.
I know.
I'm serious.
At this point, to be honest with you, it's not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of there needs to be a change, and I'm looking. That's why I wrote into you.
Yeah, I hear you. I see your mouth moving, and I hear you. But I see you both running your own agenda, and your daughter is paying the price for it.
Exactly.
So would you say that I should take the cameras down and just leave them alone, and leave my daughter alone and not parent at all and not try to get help?
Well, let's set up a paper tiger and then tear it down. Do you think I'm an idiot?
No, not at all.
Well, don't ask me a loaded question with a ridiculous premise, expecting to get an affirmation that in some way empowers you in this argument.
So I'm expecting an answer.
Miss 20 that's here to defend your parenting, that's pretty good. I got some more of those.
Oh, I know you do. I get very emotional when it comes to what I know my daughter has told me.
Honest to God, you're going to defend that? Threatening, right?
I know.
And the vaping.
35 take.
Issues with vaping.
I'll tell you what I do want you to do. You want me to tell you what I do want you to do?
I respect it. I would.
Okay. Yeah. There's a video that we made with you guys, and I took a little excerpt out of it and just made it into a loop. And this happens in front of your daughter.
Is the reason why she's the way she is today.
I'm traumatized.
You don't control what she does today, but you have controlled her mind. Your passive-aggressive manipulation on this child is the reason why she's the way she is today.
I'm traumatized.
You don't control what she does today, but you have controlled her mind. Your passive-aggressive manipulation on this child is the reason why she's the way she is today.
I'm traumatized.
You don't control what she does today, but you have controlled her mind. Your passive-aggressive manipulation on this child is the reason why she's the way she is today.
I'm traumatized.
You don't control what she does today, but you have controlled her mind. She is passive-aggressive.
Okay, let's see the next one.
Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around.
That's the story
She's
of
been
my
around
life.
for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single thing in my life. Where have you been? Why is it that you can't own the hurt you've given her? You haven't been around. She's been around for every single.
Okay. Miss 20 that's here to defend your parenting, that's pretty good, pretty much okay. It's like another 10 minutes of that. I got some more of those.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do. You know, I get very emotional when it comes to what I know my daughter has told me she needs and wants.
Seriously, you're going to spend more time defending that? Honest to God, you're going to defend that?
She doesn't realize she did anything wrong.
I don't need your help. If I do, I know right where you are. I'm speechless. Your initial reaction for both of you is to justify it. This is child abuse. You are an abuser, you are an abuser. What he says is you push as much as you can. Let's take a look at another piece of tape.
She's not a parent. She parents 10 times better than you've ever done.
This would not happen.
That's not true. You should be ashamed to even admit that you physically abused your daughter.
Let me ask you something. And that's why we're here today.
Nuisance.
Did you get that?
Stop it.
This is how she talks.
Listen.
She's not a parent.
She parents 10 times better than you've ever done.
This would not happen.
That's not true. You should be ashamed to even admit that you physically abused your daughter.
Entitled child.
Let me ask you
and that's why we're here today.
Nuisance.
Did you get that?
Stop it.
This is how she talks.
Listen.
Yeah, we got that.
Okay. But that's what I experience anytime I get involved with them. They both barrage me. So.
I'm speechless. After you looking at yours and you looking at yours, your initial reaction for both of you is to justify it.
Well, I wouldn't say justify it.
No, I said you justify it.
You said justify it. Okay. If that's what it came across as.
Seriously? Do you not see the issue here?
Oh.
You're doing this in front of the child. Mm-hmm. What you're seeing here is abusive. Mm-hmm. This is child abuse. What you're doing here is child abuse. I am trained as a forensic psychologist. I have worked in the court system to advise the court as an ad litem for children as to what is in the best interest of the child. This is abusive. You are an abuser, you are an abuser. What you're doing is damaging this child. You're doing this in front of the child. I show it to you to the point of reductio ad absurdum, taking something to the level of the absurd to make it so obvious that the most casual observer, people driving by out on Melrose, can understand this. And you two, right over your heads.
I get it.
You apparently don't.
No, I do.
Because what you should say after that is, oh my God.
No, I agree.
When I see myself doing that on the big screen, there's no way there could be any communication. There's no way there could be any problem solving. There's no way there could be any hope of any kind of resolution where we as two adults could come together and work out a way to guide this child down a more constructive path. And I'm part of that, and I'm going to stop.
I agree with you.
I
mean, seriously, guys, come on.
It took a while for me to get like that loud because I was watching her crying. But I get it. I get it. I shouldn't be doing that at all. I shouldn't be doing that at all. I allow my emotions to get the better of me. And I shouldn't do that. It's hard.
And you say, I can't be there 24 hours a day. And she goes out and does things I don't want her to do. I wonder why. This is chaotic, it's violent, it's aggressive, and then she goes out and beats some girl down. She is in such turmoil, she goes out and gets physically aggressive and beats some girl up.
Right. A lot of anger in her.
And where do you think she got that?
Oh, for both of us. There's no doubt about that.
I would take that.
You know, there's another adult in this scenario. Grandma Patricia. I guess we'll add her to this mix next.
Jason has a dossier of all the things that he feels Tina has done wrong as a parent.
Nuisance.
Did you get that?
Stop it.
This is how she talks.
Listen.
Jason was notified by neighbors that there was possible drug activity involving his daughter at my home.
My relationship with Jason's mom, Pat, is no bueno. Right now, Pat's evicting us from the house. It's a little difficult now because I just lost my job. I believe that Jason's been in her ear about him taking over the house.
For the past 5 months, Tina has neglected to pay rent. That's completely my mother. I have no involvement in that whatsoever. My daughter always has a place to live with me. I don't want my daughter to feel that she's being kicked out.
They said that our daughter can stay with her father, Jason, in the house. Our daughter's initial response was, in what universe does he think this is going to happen?
Well, Tina says her ex-husband, Jason, spies on her, spies on their teen daughter with these cameras he's put up around the house. Jason's mom, Patricia, says that it was her idea to put the surveillance cameras in after the neighbors complained about criminal activity happening at the house involving her granddaughter. Take a look.
My granddaughter is out of control. She's defiant, she's disrespectful, and she's a possible drug dealer. Tina wants to be her daughter's friend, but that's not how you parent a teenager.
She's not a parent.
She
okay?
parents 10
If
times
she
better
did
than you've
parent,
ever done.
This would not happen.
That's not true. You should
You
be ashamed
created
to
an
even
entitled
admit
child.
that you physically
You created an entitled child.
Let me ask you
and that's
something.
why we're here today.
Nuisance.
Did you get that?
Stop it.
This is how she talks.
Listen.
Jason has a dossier of all the things that he feels Tina has done wrong as a parent. Jason was notified by neighbors that there was possible drug activity involving his daughter at my home. I told Jason to put surveillance cameras up around the house.
The cameras were put on the house because I was getting information from the neighbors that there was drug deals going on. And to be honest with you, I observed 2 of them.
Tina has actively tried to destroy my relationship with their daughter. The last time I went to the house, I had a confrontation with my granddaughter. She said to me, "So how many times have you been married now?" She wants nothing to do with me, and that really hurts. I also had a confrontation with Tina, and she tried to hit me. And Jason had to intervene. And that's basically what Jason and I are up against.
She has manipulated you to believe that I'm the monster.
No, you did it all yourself.
You made
Nobody
yourself
has to
the
do
monster.
that.
You can't talk. You can't talk.
We're
Neither
talking.
one of you.
I'm talking.
I come in here.
I'm talking.
You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself. That's what you're doing.
Not.
Tina has completely disrespected me as a mother-in-law and as a grandmother.
Well, I'm looking for an adult in this situation. You've been watching, right?
Yeah, I have.
What have you seen?
I've seen 2 people who cannot communicate for whatever reason, but they're just not doing it. And it's taken a toll on my granddaughter, and she's acting out. I have my difficulties with with Tina, and I've been very good to them over the years, and nothing works.
But you agree this is a destructive pattern for this child.
Absolutely.
And that both of them are creating a chaotic situation that creates chaos for her.
Absolutely.
Tina and Jason's daughter is here and has been listening backstage. Now, I hear she cannot wait to get out here. Before she does, let's hear what she told my team.
My relationship with my mom is pretty good right now. As for my dad, I started realizing he was physically abusive towards me. He's choked me, he's slapped me, he's punched me, he's pushed me down to the floor, even in front of the police. I don't want to see him, ever, because he's not a dad. He's not a father, and he doesn't deserve that title. Earlier this year, I got into a physical fight with someone. When my dad found out about it, he came to the house and beat the living out of me. You slammed the door and then you beat me up.
No.
And there's pictures.
That's not true.
And my face was swollen. I had a busted lip, and there was a bruise above my eye and underneath my eyebrows.
Ever since that incident, I stopped talking to my dad. Now my dad will come around the house and stalk me. He'll follow me down the street, recording me. Recently, I was out with my friends. My mom knew where I was, but she was mad at me. She called my dad, and my dad waited in their backyard. And once we got there, he tried to beat up my friend. My friend's 19. My dad's a grown man. Who does that? He's crazy. My dad does other things to mess with me and my mom. He turned off the gas to the house. My father and my grandmother even cut the wire to the Wi-Fi. I smoke weed once or twice a week because I go through so much stress.
I think that when the conversation gets heated, she gets upset.
That's denial right there. That's not what would cause her to get upset.
I'm upset because you never own what you do.
How many things would you like me to own?
Everything. I love my mom because she's supportive of me. She doesn't give up on me even when I'm at my lowest point. When my mom says I act out, it hits a lot harder to me. My dad has told me life would be easier if I wasn't even born. When I hear him say things like that, I'll start crying because who says that to their kid?
We've been talking about her, and now we'll hear from Jason and Tina's daughter next. You're staying in the room with Nana, and she's staying down the hall with this guy, and they're posting videos
right next
about
door.
drugs.
And Mom's okay with all of it.
So,
Shut up.
I'd like to thank all of my guests today. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. A new episode of Fill in the Blanks is now available for download. I want you to subscribe and listen because on this podcast, I have the time and space to go as deep as needed into the most fascinating people and stories of our time. I get to go wherever the story takes me. This podcast is the behind-the-scenes Dr. Phil you don't get a chance to experience any other way. So go ahead and subscribe at Apple Podcast and Stitcher, and let's start a whole new relationship, one where you're going to find, I hope, it's as rewarding as I find it to be exciting. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and know that I do read your comments and questions. Like Dina asked on my Facebook, my 9-year-old daughter is becoming more and more sassy. Do you have any tips to try? Yeah, you know, actually, I don't think that's a bad thing. I always told my kids, you can say anything you want, you can argue as much as you want as long as you do it respectfully. Let her be sassy, let her be spunky. That's what you're looking for, actually. Just be sure there is a boundary and she knows where it is. That's all for today. We'll see you next time.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times, memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive, call it.
Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Every day and night, that's right. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know